Alright, well, apparently I recorded nothing with the first one. On the first page, what I did was I constructed a 2-inch line. I took the compass, I set it to a little more than halfway over the line. I struck an arc, then I struck another arc, then I went to the other side, I struck an arc, I struck an arc. And then I took a straight edge in between the two intersections, and I drew a bisector through it. And then I labeled it. That was what I did for the first one. These are relatively simple instructions. Now, at this point, I've drawn a line across horizontally, and now I'm going to find the center of the work area here. And my tape is interfering with what I'm doing because it's not pressed down completely. So I'm going to actually just move over here. And I only need to do one line at this point. That tells me where the center of the box is because I already know where the horizontal center is. Now, this one is a little bit confusing from the standpoint that it's asking you to bisect an arc. And I'm going to do a little bit of pre-construction because, again, these are the types of things that you would be confronted with the arc already drawn on the paper, and what I'm doing here is I'm just creating the arc first. And I'm going to go down, about an inch or so, something like that. And I'm going to actually look for a location somewhere where I can draw an arc that goes between those 2 points. Now, I'm going to leave this horizontal here as part of the construction, but I'm going to get rid of the vertical that I used to plant the compass. So if you're in a situation where here's what you've got an arc, and actually what I'll do is I'll get rid of all of these. You're confronted with like a test problem that has an arc just like this. Now, same as with this, you're going to go somewhere beyond the middle of the object. You're going to strike an arc above and below, and then you're going to go below and above, or vice versa. Then you're going to take your straight edge, you're going to find where the middle is, and there is your bisected. You've actually cut this in half, because bisecting just means cutting something in half. So you've got your point X and Y, you got your arrows, you've got A and B, and then you can go in there's point M. Nice M, huh? Looks like some kind of weird mountain. Alright, that one's done. Now, page 3. Oh, this is what's goofing me up here, sorry. Now, I'm going to just change here a slight bit. Alright. Now, the next one is bisecting an angle. Now, I like to start out with the T-square and go down about here, and then there. Oops. And it doesn't matter if this point is, it doesn't really matter, it's not that important. Now, we're going to have point be the vertex of the angle, point P, right there. So P is that. And we're going to place our compass point at P, and we're going to draw an arc across both of the legs or the sides of the angle. So I'm going to just leave it where it was from my last construction, and I'm just going to go like this. All right? Now I'm going to label those intersections Q and R. Now, we're not going to change our compass setting. All I'm going to do is I'm going to place the hard point on Q and go across the interior of the angle opening and then switch over to R. Do the same thing there. And we'll label that W. And then I'm going to just take a straight edge from point P to point X and then bisect at an angle. That's it. So if you're ever presented with that, that's how you do it. You just draw an arc, then you draw another arc and another arc from here, and then draw a line through it. That's all it is. This is not complex stuff, but you will be presented with this. Now, at this point, I've already got a small X in the middle of the paper here. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line. It should be, all of our lines are supposed to be 1 inch long, or on each side, which should be 2 inches total. Now, we're going to construct a perpendicular. So we find this out of the box, and given point P on line K, we're going to construct a line through P perpendicular to K. So we're going to begin with line K containing point P, which we'll just put P right here. And it can be anywhere on the line, it can be in the middle, it doesn't really matter. We're going to place the compass on point P, and it can be an arbitrary, what's called an arbitrary radius, which means it's just random or however you want to call it, but we're just going to go, we can go here like this. Well, no, sorry, we're going to go like this first, and then we can go here, and we can actually carry this line over just to make a construction. You know, we can make it real tiny. That was a mistake up there. Just ignore it. Now, we're going to label our points here as X. We've got point P, and we're going to label this one point Y. And we've got line K. And I'm actually going to extend this over, and I'm going to make this. Now our 2-inch segments are right here. Now, this is where it was 2 inches, and this is where it was 2 inches, and that's why this is X, because I used a larger radius. If I used a small one, it doesn't matter. This was our original center. That doesn't matter either. That's not that critical. We're not using that. Okay? Now, we don't change our compass point from where it was. We leave it at the same place. But what we do now is we go to ooh, this may not work. I may have gone too far. Because I'm supposed to be here. Uh-oh. that actually didn't work right because I didn't make the line long enough. But you know what I've just done? I've created a perpendicular by going with these instead. So let's see. Let's try this over again. And I erase all of this stuff. And you know how sometimes when you're dealing with math problems, and you'll find this in geometry, and you'll find it in trigonometry, you'll find that you end up with the correct answer, but you maybe did some procedure wrong, and I think I did that wrong. And I was actually reading the instructions. So let's go again with, here's our line. I'm going to draw it in dark. And make sure we're at 1 inch. 1 inch. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't matter how long the line is. It doesn't say on my instructions. Now that I'm going through and reading them again, I'm just going to use this line right here. Go with that. Alright. Place the compass on point P. And point P can be anywhere. And I'm going to make the mark point P. I'm going to go draw intersecting lines on line K right there and there. Then place the compass at point X. Adjust the compass so it's more than half. Oh, it's like that and like that. And then point Y, same thing. Well, that was where I missed it. And then you do what's called erecting a perpendicular, or just drawing a perpendicular, and there it is. Same thing. Notice it's not in the center. You have point X, point Y, line K, and either one actually would work. We got A, we got B, and in some cases you may have the construction where you don't have this line at all, so that this line is just not even there. When you're finally done with the construction, you get rid of this, because all they want is one perpendicular, not one through it. But in essence, it pretty much looks like the line bisection and the arc bisection, but it's not done through the middle as these were. This is entirely different. But these are all problems you'll be presented with in math class. Just follow the instructions on the sheet. My problem is I jumped ahead. That's why I ended up, but as you saw, when I completely goofed it up, I went and redid it, and it ended up, even though it came out right the first time, it came out right the second time also, but again, it didn't have to be centered. You darken in all your borders all the way around on it. Your name goes here, school name, the title of the drawing, which would be a geometric construction, the date you do it. The scale on this would be 1:1, and the drawing number, depending, this one might be drawing number 10, I'm not sure, what your period is, and then leave that blank for the score on the drawing. Make sure your constructions are left. Make sure that you have compass holes in the paper, and you're done. That's it. Alright, bye-bye.